gonna text me back?
Right now, I'm working on something experimental. I'm making my own loops. Usually, I just find a loop online. I drag it in download it, drag it into FL, and I start working on it. And that's how I usually have some instruments to play with the drums. And I was praying to God and I was fasting. I was asking him, one of the things I was asking him during that fast was to help me become better at making loops because I feel like kind of ashamed. I don't really share. I feel like I had that ability deep down to make loops, but I just never really got into it because I felt like it was just horrible. When I made them, they sounded off. This wasn't good enough production quality. I already have an audience that I've just been adjusted to or gotten used to or accustomed to, like the type of music I make, and me slapping drums on a melody that sounds half behind wouldn't be, I felt like it wouldn't be right. But, I said, you know what? I want to use this talent. I don't want to let it go to waste. So I started making music, and the fast was yesterday. So, no, it was on Sunday. So on Monday, all of a sudden, as like I noticed, like all of a sudden I'm able to make better loops. Like now they're actually starting to go somewhere. Now it's easier to lay down a pull chord progression and things like this, and it's crazy. I think like music has to be linked to spirituality in some way. Think about the mainstream music and what they put on it, what it promotes, and how it affects society, what they go off. Think about it. You listen to lustful music, don't be surprised when a lustful spirit comes inside of you, or it's starting to bother with your life, starting to, lusting has become a bigger and bigger problem. You listen to angry music, people talking about, violence. Don't be surprised when you feel like you in a violent mood all the time, or you seem like you have a lack of self-control. Listen to music about drugs. Don't be surprised when you start having drug addictions or start battling stuff like that. You gotta start cutting that stuff off, man. If you're struggling with stuff, you need to cut that stuff off. That music seriously has a spiritual effect on people. Think about it when you listen to gospel music or when you're in church and they start playing, think about that uplifting that brings high. It feels like it enhances like the experience and just the spiritual aspect of it. I was watching a Philip Anthony Mitchell sermon. They had broadcasted it and I'm watching it on YouTube. It's no longer live. So, it can't, I'm just going through the entry and end times. And towards the end of the sermon, they started playing music and they were in the church. They were, I was giving praise to the Lord, speaking out loud. And it's like, as I'm hearing this music, it's like, it enhances, like, I don't know, it has a spiritual effect. I don't know how to explain it, man. I was in tears, man. I'm telling you, music is very important. If you want to be walking on a narrow path, you can't expect for light to shine in you when you feast on darkness. You can't expect that. You can't expect that. You shouldn't. You can, but you shouldn't. So it's very key that you try to eliminate these things and take whatever bad influence these music, this terrible music, throw it out the way. I know it sounds good. I know that you like the instrumentals. I know you like the way they play the drums and they got the saxophone or the guitar or drum, whatever it is that you listen to type of music, you listen to the instruments and you love how they play together. Those people are using their talents and their gifts for the wrong thing. And you don't want to be a part of whatever they got going on. You don't want to be a product of that. Like I'm telling you, leave it alone. Listen to Christian music, listen to gospel music, like actual true, true intentions. Ask God to give you discernment, send you a give you a playlist, help you find songs that will actually uplift you or listen to stuff like that. When I make my music, when I make this music, like, I make sure I pray before I start making it so that God can be in the midst of it. So whoever is listening, I didn't think of this effect before, but that was just something I did because I felt like I couldn't make any music without God being with me. But now I'm understanding, okay, this is another effect of that. Me bringing God into the beat making process is what can uplift people spiritually and it can enhance the message that's sent out. So be careful what type of music you listen to and the intentions behind it, because a lot of people, they may say it's about, they may make music and say it's about Jesus, but in reality, is it? look at their fruits. A lot of people have talents, but they don't use them for the right thing. I'm trying to use my talents for the right thing. I'm trying to steward. They don't steward them well. Some people can sing. Some people can, go crazy on a drum. Some people can, guitar, all that, but they don't use it for the right thing. So make sure that if you have any talents, you use it for the right thing. You use it for the kingdom of God. You use it to build up others. This is an example. If you feel like God's calling you to use your musical gift, you feel like that, then hey, do it, man. Do whatever. Ask the Lord to lead you in it.
You're gonna text me back?